I often get asked by our clients, when their case is progressing, in terms of settlement, in terms of what's the value of the case or what happens with their case in terms of settlement. Like, do they get to approve their settlements? And the answer is 100% yes. As your attorneys, we represent you, which means if you get a settlement offer, whether it's for policy limits of the insurance policy or even less than that, we will advise you whether a settlement offer is fair or whether it's, pardon my language, complete crap. So you are the captain of this ship as our client. You get to steer where your case goes and what it settles for within, of course, the legal bounds of the law and insurance policy limits. Okay. And so once a case resolves and once we have that final approval from every single one of our clients for their individual cases, the one thing that they have to do is sign a settlement release from the insurance company. Okay, that's the insurance company that is defending the case on behalf of the defendant. And so a settlement release basically is what you do is you're waiving your right to continue to sue that individual or entity for the compensation or release of funds. And so once a release is signed, essentially you can't go back and sue the person for the same, you know, incident that you were injured in, right? Like, let's say you were in a car wreck and an insurance company, it says, we're going to give you the policy limits of the insurance, just don't sue our guy. Then you basically, that's the trade off you're making. That's the contract right there. It's like, okay, in lieu of pursuing a further lawsuit, I'm going to take the money offered on the table. And so with every case, always ends with a settlement release of some kind, unless it's the case that actually goes to trial. And that is actually a completely different process. But generally, you end with a settlement release if a case resolves in the middle of litigation before it goes to trial, or if it resolves in what we call a pre-litigation case, as in a lawsuit didn't even need to be filed.
One of the biggest issues that comes up with settlement releases as we're going through the settlement process with our clients, as part of every single settlement release, the defendant or the defendant's insurance company will put in there that they're not admitting that they did anything wrong. In fact, they're disputing that they did anything wrong, and they're just paying this money to resolve the pending claim or the pending lawsuit. But by accepting the money, the person understands that, this is not an admission of liability. And obviously, some of our clients have a big problem with that, especially in situations where they were badly hurt or it was an egregious situation where the defendant obviously did anything wrong and now they're refusing to admit it. But the thing is, the goal of the civil justice system is to provide compensation in the form of money. And that's all, as personal injury lawyers, that we or any other personal injury lawyer in the United States can do for any client, is just to try to get them the largest amount of money compensation for their injury claim that we can. And as part of that trade-off, if it's a agreement to settle the case, of course the defendants are going to say, we're going to deny that we did anything wrong. And that's just the cost of agreeing to resolve the case and getting the fair amount of money paid. It doesn't mean you have to agree that the defendant didn't do anything.